everybody. Welcome to the Golden Girls. Hello to my beautiful sisters above me. I've got Cleo, aka Dorothy, and Marina, aka
No. I'm Sophia.
You're Sophia. Why do you say Dorothy?
Because I had a senior moment.
Okay, that's allowed.
Yes.
Marina, who is Sophia, and I'm Blanche, since I'm the southern one.
There you go. See, I changed it real quick. Yeah.
I was like, something's glitching in my brain. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So for those of you who are wondering, we almost got Rose out. Everything was planned. You know, we had it down to a fine science. And then what did she do? Well, all of a sudden she starts an affair with one of the guards. There you go. That's it. They moved her. So now we got to start from scratch.
We got to find her again.
Yes. And you know what she's like when she does that. Yeah. So I guess she started telling him stories.
You know?
Yeah, about Saint Olaf, and apparently he grew up not too far from there. And anyway, it's a mess. Yeah.
Well, let's give a big hello and a warm welcome to our folks that are here. We've got Patrick Duncan. We've got somebody, Heart-Centered Tarot. I don't know. Somebody let her in the room again. We got Catherine. We got Norm. Who said, I'm here if anyone is wondering. So I responded back and said, I'm glad you're here. And we've got Sherry Freebury, and we've got Edward is here, and Mimi is here, and Cleo the Seer is here, Barbara, and Donna and Sherry Williams. Well, we got Sherry's all over the place tonight.
Yes.
Louise is here. Denise is here. Helena is here. Welcome. And Teacher Barbara is here. And Snapdragon. Hi, y'all.
Yay. Artist Liz. Hey.
Oh, hey, Liz.
Wow.
I've been talking her up every time I see her in a chat. The first thing I do is I tell people, you got to check out her artwork, man. Yes. I'm still trying to work it out so we can do a show for her and
I know
highlight all of her art. It's just, I think it'll go, and I think it'll go fast and people see it. So
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Start prepping yourself, Liz. It's gonna happen soon. And hi, Jane.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know Cleo was saying what a beautiful day it was where she was at. Same here. It was a beautiful day yesterday and today. Lots of blue sky and sunshine and temps up in the 70s. And
yes.
So that was quite lovely. And it's supposed to rain again, I think, tomorrow. I don't know. Well, I'm going to go get my hair cut tomorrow. So, of course, it's going to rain. That means my hair is going to go straight out, you know.
Yep. And it was really nice here as well. We were at plus 15, which would probably be, I don't know, the 35, 40, 42, somewhere in there Celsius. So that was nice. It was really, really windy, but the sun was out. So I had to run to the store. Yeah. And as I was driving back, I had to put down the visor and put my hand up as I was driving. Yeah, it was really sunny. So thank goodness.
That's every evening on my way home, because it's when I leave work, it's right at the time where the sun is sunk to the point that it's just below where the visor ends.
Yes.
So it's like that little strip. And so I'm having to drive like one-handed like this. And hi, Judith.
Hello.
And
thank you for stopping by, Judith.
You.
That is wonderful. Oh, Teacher Barbara.
Oh. Yay, Barbara.
Yes.
That's what we all need to do. We all need to get us a Canadian flag, and we can start flying our Canadian flags.
Well, and we need to look forward to tariffs starting on March 4th, I think. Actually, just to give you a heads up, that has been put off until I think April 3rd or 4th. Really? That was the last that I heard was, yes, that it's been put off until April. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me one little bit because April of what year? Yes.
Well, Jen.
Mexico is probably still stuck, right? Mexico will come up March 4th, I think. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I don't, I still don't know if I believe it or not, because everything I read, Trump kept sticking to his timeline and talking about the fentanyl and stuff. And I think Canada said something like that they did find somebody with 20 pills or something. And, I mean, that's really not a big deal. And the whole thing about Canada.
I bet it was American too, and not a Canadian.
Yes, our biggest seizure at the border of fentanyl was probably, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was like pounds of fentanyl, and it was Americans trying to bring it into Canada. So yeah. But, I mean, this is bullshit. Where he says that that you're letting in immigrants and fentanyl, and he's saying the same thing about Mexico. Now, people can believe that about Mexico. I don't think anybody ever thought, "Oh my God, we've got to stop this influx of drugs coming in from Canada." No, but I think Canada has said, and maybe that's why he backed down for another month, because Trudeau said, that you would comply with that, but there's going to be, I don't know, I remember how he worded it very nice, but basically there's going to be consequences if we continue to do this kind of nonsense.
And he's already let Trump know that those consequences, he's going to hit the red states first. Because they're the ones that are in the most need. Yes. That's what gets me. And I hear this all around me. Oh, yeah, he's doing this and that and the other. And then in the next breath, they're bitching about how much the eggs cost or how much gas has gone up. I'm like, okay, well, you just voted for the guy who made the prices go up. And now you're going to gripe about the prices going up.
Well, because he lied. Again, it's another lie from Trump. He told everybody, I'm bringing the prices down. Remember, he was sitting there with the table full the day after the election. Yeah. But he was campaigning. He showed this table full of food. I think there was eggs and cereal, and he said he was going to take the cereal home with him. Like, hey, I haven't seen this in years. I'm like, where the hell have you been? What do you mean? You go to this any store and there it is. But no, he was going to bring the prices down, and then the day after, I think it was actually the day after, that he said, "Oh, it might not be as easy to bring the prices down." And now it's just totally out the window. He doesn't even want to discuss it. No.
Well, I don't have anything to do with that. That's got to do. I'll need to talk to my farm person or whatever, however you put it.
Yes.
We've had a few more people pop in here with us. We've got Debbie, 3 Shifting Veils, and Jana, and Mary Starshine, and Gloria, and Kimberly Cross, and Lorraine, and Judith. So welcome. I'm glad y'all joined us.
Absolutely.
And another Barbara who is here. So
yes.
Oh,
Denise Fletcher. Mary Starshine says March 4th, King Cheeseburger is putting tariffs in place. That's what I thought too. But Marina says that she read something that was going to be extended into April. And I think I think that was a comment that was made in someone else's show by one of the chatters who said no. So whether, I don't know if it's true or not, but
y'all Google it for us and let us know.
yes,
Yeah, I'm
please.
looking right
Yes.
Hello, Joy. Hello, they are narcissists.
Yes.
Hello. I saw somebody else pop in here. Who was it?
Maureen D'Amico, Kimberly
Oh,
Crow.
Maureen is here. Okay. And another Barbara. And Denise became a member. Yay.
Hey,
Thank you,
excellent.
Denise. That's fabulous.
Oh,
So,
and Mary Starshine says, I read that on CNBC this morning.
There you go. Okay. I think he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Well, and I just read it, a thing, everything says March 4th, and then it said that the White House said that as of now, tariffs against Canada would be going ahead on Tuesday. Because if somebody asks, is it in March or April? So it looks to me, according to, Trump can change his mind in any second. So, but anyway,
we'll see. We'll see what happens next week.
Okay, everybody, heads up. Put Maureen D'Amico on your prayer list. She's going for a biopsy March 11th. So we got to surround her full of protective light and healing. And Denise said she gave up eggs. I don't blame her. And Joy was putting up, we were talking about this backstage, that a federal judge has had enough of this. Nobody seems to know who's in charge of what, who's doing what. And so all the Doge employees now have to come and give testimony, do a deposition, and answer questions about who does what and who gave them permission to do it.
Yeah.
So won't that be fun to see? And
absolutely. People are getting, they're slowly waking up.
Yeah.
They're slowly waking up because it is slowly starting to hit them. And I think if the tariffs do go in place next week, there's going to be a lot more that are going to say, well, wait a minute. I didn't sign up for this. But I heard on, oh gosh, and I can't remember his channel name. Anyway, he was talking about a woman who had posted a video on TikTok, and she was saying how she had to, she's going down to Mexico to have some dental work done because she saw her doctor in the U.S. or her dentist in the U.S., and it's going to cost $3,900 to get one root canal and one tooth capped. So she did some checking, and there is a clinic in Mexico that she can get 4 root canals, 4 caps, something else, and something else done, including 3 days at a hotel. The only thing not included is the airfare or whatever to get down into just across the border. And it's like $2,600. So that's what she's going to do. Now,
and I see that Maureen's also getting the rest of her teeth pulled.
Yes.
So been there, done that. That's not fun.
So anyway, this woman is a Trump supporter. I don't think that they should be allowed to go out of the country to get any work done. You voted for this.
Thank you.
Voted for this.
Thank you. I mean, it's like listening to people that I know voted for him who are now bitching and complaining about the crap he's doing. And just because it's work and because I work for the state, I don't want to ruffle any feathers and get fired. So I bite my tongue and I go back in my office and think, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
Yes, exactly.
And oh my goodness, but it's crazy. And then yeah, I mean, when I lived in Phoenix, they ran, and I'm sure they still do it, they ran health buses down to Mexico. You'd pay like $100. You'd meet up on a Friday morning. The bus would drive you down to the border. Everybody would get out and go over the border, go to their appointments for eye doctor, dentist, regular doctor, surgery, whatever you were going down there to get. You'd spend the day, you'd get your stuff done. And if the doctors just said you could go back home that day, you'd get back on the bus that evening and come back to Phoenix. And that was during the weekends, all weekend long. They would run these health runs down to Mexico. The first time I went to Mexico was like that. And I went with a friend, and we just drove down there and then walked across the border and went shopping and everything. And I went and filled like all my prescriptions and stuff I had for pennies on the dollar as to what I would have paid for it here in the States. And I didn't even have to use my prescriptions. They were like, yeah, we don't need that. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, though, for all these for all these folks that are complaining that, the leopards eating faces party is now coming to eat their faces. Oh my gosh, who knew? They are doing their very best to backpedal and to, no, that's, you misunderstood. That's not what I meant. That's yeah, you did. Just like Trump saying when he was asked, are you still going to call Zelensky a dictator? Oh, I didn't say that. I don't remember saying that. Did I say that? Did I say that? When did I say that?
He says, I don't remember saying he says, I don't remember saying that. Next question. He just totally, blew it off. So I'm wondering, is he lying or is he mentally losing it?
Impaired?
Mentally impaired. There we go. That's a nice way to say it.
And yes.
Yeah.
That's a double entendre question with a double entendre answer. Yes and yes. Hi, Sheila.
Totally.
Hi, Jean.
So he is lying and he's mentally incompetent.
I watched my mother. I took care of my mother and watched her for 10 years, the last 10 years of her life, fighting dementia. And it's a horrible, horrible, horrible disease because it completely strips a person of their memories, of their abilities to take care of themselves. It changes their personality because like with her, she had what they called cerebral atrophy dementia. So her brain was literally like shriveling up inside of her skull. And as it would shrivel, it would cut off more centers, that no longer connected. And it was really bad to see this lovely, friendly, happy person go from that personality to this really kind of like scary kind of personality where everybody was out to get her and and this and that. It was really rough. And that was on good days. There were bad days that was really bad, but and it's like I got to give it to people who take care of patients like that full time. Yes. It's exhausting. I know it's a little different when it's not your relative because you've kind of got that wall of separation there a little bit. But still, nurses and interns and stuff in nursing homes, they get as attached to the patients as the families do.
Of course they do.
And of course, the other patients get attached to each other. My mother went into a nursing home 2 months before she died, and she'd been there about 2-3 weeks. And I came in one Sunday to spend the day with her, and the nurse was like, "Come see." And I thought, "Oh God, what did she do now?" And I went over and I said, "Yeah, what happened?" She said, "I just wanted to let you know she's got a beau now." I said, "She's got a what?" She says, "He's quite smitten with her, and he follows her everywhere." Now, she couldn't talk anymore at this point. She was stuck in a wheelchair. She couldn't walk or anything. But wherever she was, he would go sit next to her, and he would help her eat, and he would hold her hand, and he would sit there and just look at her, like just the love pouring out of this man's face as he looked at my mother, who was completely oblivious that he was even there,
Yeah.
And it was heartwarming and heartbreaking all at the same time. But I thought it was hilarious that the first time one of us showed up after this started happening, the nurses were like, "She's got a beau. So just so you don't freak out, she's got a beau now."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Good for you, Mama. You go, girl."
Yeah.
But
Astrological Tarot says, if you could click on this thing, it was at 6:21 my time.
okay,
It says,
let me
this
get down there.
2025, gaslighting the Christian masses. I braved some of the chats, and as they took away their very rights, they were screaming, "He prayed to our Lord and Savior. God bless you, sir." Oh my goodness. God. It just like saying, God saved him.
And hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Michelle. When he hit his ear with the bullet, and I'm thinking, no. But what happened is you just got very, very lucky. Very lucky. That's all that happened.
Yes.
So it's really.
Well, the thing is that as these MAGA people start waking up and smelling the coffee.
Yeah.
Actually, they probably smelling something a hell of a lot worse, but let's keep it nice. The shock on their faces that he's doing this to us, but we supported him. We voted for him. How can he do it to us? Because he doesn't give a crap about you, and we told you that. But
well, and he never tell you the truth. Nothing that he said during his entire campaign that I can think of was truthful. So and now when these tariffs go into play, if they do, especially the one with Canada, that's really going to hurt us. And then the people are going to be like, "Oh God!" I mean, And somebody said that their eggs are costing around $4.50 a dozen. In Seattle, it's about $7.50 a dozen.
Yeah.
And it's going to get worse. And it's not, that's not really from tariffs. That's from the bird flu. But, is Trump doing anything about the bird flu? Or has he fired all those people that are supposed to help with stuff like that?
No, apparently, no, they are. I think it was, I read something about the FDA was going to look into it and they were going to help out. Did he not get rid of the FDA, or is he not trying to close down the FDA? So who did they mean? And this was I think it was a senator who mentioned it. Anyway.
Well, I know that. Go ahead.
No, it just nothing is going to be done. They are going to start talking about, we're going to look into it. Right? We'll have something for you in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, they're going to do nothing.
Right.
So,
exactly.
To get back to your to the question there, Cleo, about is he whatever. I think that people around him are starting to realize that the King of Pentacles doesn't have all his faculties. His brain isn't quite there.
He has some left.
they are standing in judgment, and I think that there's things happening behind the scenes where, yeah, I it feels like someone is just going to make sure that that he's not out in public for entertainment
Well, and the
purposes.
thing of it is while they're running around taking their chainsaw to all these departments and
Yes.
getting rid of career employees who have spent their lives doing this kind of work and helping the American people, and they're just cutting them loose, cutting them off, and it's like, you know, and then they realize, oh wait, we need those people back. Well, you should have thought about that before you fired their ass, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
I know Deborah brought up a really good question I wanted to highlight. And I did,
Not offending
and I
anyone,
actually
Susan.
did think about it.
Yeah.
Especially being down here in the South. I'm seeing it more and more and more.
Yeah.
That little trickle of that. I mean, it never completely went away down here. The mess between being segregated or not, but it's starting to rear its ugly head again.
You know, Trump is the biggest racist president we've ever seen, and I mean, and he doesn't even try to do anything to make it right, or even to like pretend like he is not that judgmental. He's a complete racist. So yeah, if things start to go downhill, I mean, they are gonna go downhill with him firing everybody and throwing out these tariffs. And they're saying if they leave it the way it is, the country will go bankrupt. They are, Musk and him and all these damn Republicans are going to bankrupt the country. So yeah, you know, you'll start seeing more and more racist kind of stuff coming up, and especially younger people, because they don't have a clue. They haven't lived through it. They don't understand that this is really, you know, they're into the Black Lives Matter, but they really don't understand what it was like.
Yes, and why Black Lives Matter
ago, you know, which was just absolutely horrible. And you know, all we can
it's just like, I'm sorry, go ahead, Cleo.
All we can do is just start, you know, keep living your real life. You know, we know that this is not the way to be. We know that it's not, you know, not cool to be racist, to be judgmental. You just remember who you are, and don't, you know, and if you've got kids, boy, I don't know exactly how you would get them to understand that what the president says and does and acts like is not, it's not
okay.
It should be. Yeah, it's not okay. And it's hard to say that about the president, because of all people, you would think the president is the one that is a role model. This president is not. And so I just hope that everybody, you know, keeps a level head and doesn't start blaming the wrong people when things start to go south because of tariffs and layoffs and all this stuff, because the prices are going to get high and people are going to start getting very, very cranky. And when that happens, they start blaming anybody but the one person, because they can't do anything about Trump, so they'll blame everybody else. You will see.
And the thing that I've been hearing down here, that coded language that we in the South kind of grow up around. And for those of us who realize, you know, what a bunch of BS that crap is, I mean, we tend to ignore it. We call it out when we can. A lot of times it's safer to not say anything at all, I'm ashamed to say, simply because you're the minority, you know, regardless of what color you are, you're the one lone Democrat in the room or something, you know. But it's seeing some of the things that I remember witnessing as a child in the middle of the civil rights movement, when there were horrific things being done to people right out on Main Street. They didn't give a crap who saw them do it.
Yes.
They were okay with doing it, and most people around them were okay with them doing it.
Yes.
That's what really scares me now, is I'm starting to see some of those behaviors coming back,
Yeah.
especially among white people, you know. And it's just like, no, that's not okay. It's not okay at all for you to talk that way or act that way or treat somebody else that way. And it is a concern. I pulled a few cards on it for you, Deborah. First thing I got was the Four of Swords. So it feels like people are in the process right now of pulling in. You know, they're going into their fetal position to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And then I got the Hermit, which just kind of solidified that feeling, because I saw that one and I thought, okay, people are pulling it in. Well, yeah, the Hermit, they're trying to protect themselves. And then I got the Tower, was the last card I got. And it's like, yeah,
That's funny.
I keep telling everybody, it will get better, but it's going to get a hell of a lot worse first.
Yeah, we gotta stick with that. You know, we had some questions when I was on polyterology, and that see, even the dog agrees with me.
Yes. Yes.
That, you know, I know people are waiting. When is it going to get better? When is it going to get better? And they're kind of pushing forward this positive affirmations of it's going to get better. It is going to get better, but don't hold your breath. It has to get a little bit worse. Well, maybe quite a bit worse. So, you know, it's going to get worse before it gets better. March is going to be a very telling month. I mean, for one thing, it is going to get horrible, especially with these tariffs going into, you know, starting in March 4th.
Well, apparently now Mark Brisbois said that they have been put off until April 2nd. And so I asked him if he could let me know where he heard that, because we're trying to get it confirmed. And he said that Humpty Dumpty said it himself earlier today.
Good. Humpty Dumpty said it himself. Okay. Well, I mean, everything I saw on the internet on my phone said it was going to happen.
It may or may not happen next week. And it's funny, Sherry. You got the Tower card in the end. I got the Tower card in the beginning. So, you know, it's kind of like, prepare for the worst, but anticipate the best. Because if they do try to start something like that, one of the things that the white folk forget is that there are more colored, and whether that's black, brown, yellow, whatever, there are more colored people that are part of the population than the white people are. And I think a lot of those people are going to come in. They're going to start to make decisions. And I don't think that it's going to go anywhere. It's a case of
that was your dog shit. Yes.
The high priest trying to get they're going to start asking questions. So I think that it might be a little touch and go. I think some idiot is actually going to suggest it, and it's going to come down to a hard no real fast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And apologies for my brother. I don't think he realized I was on air. He went walking through talking about the dog poop on the floor. Evidently one of the dogs had an accident. But and I get it. Who was it? And she just said it, and I was like, yeah, I get it. Judith had said, you know, have had enough, and that's where a lot of us are at. You know, a lot of us have really gotten to that point where we've had enough. The problem is people don't know what to do. or how to
Chill.
deal
You
with
just
it.
gotta chill. You just gotta chill and
Yes.
just
Yeah.
go with the flow, because you can't do anything about it right now. And
Yeah.
every time something comes up that makes you angry about this,
Hot milk and cookies.
it's affecting your own energy, and you want to have the most positive energy. You know, it's going to happen. It's going to not be fun, but it's not. Just remember, it's not a permanent. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's not permanent. This is a temporary situation. I don't know how long it's going to last, but you just need to keep your own energy in the light and not get. You don't get pissed off, because it isn't going to do any good, but it's going to harm you. Just by by that negativity. And I know it's hard not to. I mean, I am more and more trying to avoid the news and stuff, because it's just so irritating. But then again, just like I was saying, okay, March 4th, it happens. Now somebody says, no, not till April, or Marina says that too. And so, that's the way these things are going to go. It really, really upsets me that we should be in any kind of conflict with Canada. That's just beyond my imagination that this would ever happen.
I know.
Just keep the faith, keep yourself grounded and positive, and know that this is just a temporary situation.
Yeah. Do not give in to the fear, because once you give in to the fear, you give it energy, and you don't want to give it that energy. So it's a case of, okay, well, it's this or it's that. All right. Okay. No problem. We'll see when it happens. Right. So you can observe, but don't absorb. And I can't remember who said that so that I can give them credit, but it's absolutely true. Observe, don't absorb.
Go back to the one
Exactly.
that Patrick, Sherry, the one that
Patrick, is like,
respectfully disagrees. Anger that is held in will destroy a person. I'm not saying hold in your anger. I'm saying change your thinking. Just for now. It's just a temporary thing. I totally agree with what Patrick said about anger. You do not want to stuff it. I'm not saying
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's being smart with it.
Yes.
Because what they're hoping for, the goal that they have, is to push us to the point that we lose our collective shit.
Yes.
It's crazy, pardon my language, so that they can then declare martial law and lock down the whole country. That's what we want to avoid. And yes, do I want to grab my pitchfork and go out and start raising hell? Oh, damn, yes, I do. This infuriates me. I've already been through this crap. I went through it when I was a kid with my mother. I marched. I saw what happened to people just because their skin was a little darker than mine, or because they spoke another language before they learned my language, or whatever the case may be. And it was, even as a child, I knew there was something just inherently wrong with that. And, I thank God that I had a mom who was woke and, and believed in equality for everybody. Not all of my friends were that lucky. There were some of them that, their parents were the ones that, we were marching against. But at the same time, it's like, do I want to get to that point today? Yes and no. Yes, because the point has to be driven home that this is not acceptable behavior. You cannot refuse somebody a job or a place to live or to go in and buy their groceries because they're a different race than you, or speak a different language than you, or wear different clothes than you. That's their prerogative. They are who they are. That's the way we're born.
Yep.
And for those who are, godly people, my response is, if God didn't want us to all get along, he would have made us all the same color, same size, same shape. You wouldn't have been able to tell one from the other. But he wanted diversity. He wanted the mixture of all that's around. And so, we should honor that by accepting that difference. It's look at
Well,
all the wonderful things
yeah.
you learn when you with somebody from another country, or or that live differently or eat differently or whatever. Oh my goodness. I mean, the things I have learned over the years just from being friends with people from places I've never been, will probably never get to go to, but I get to experience it just a little bit through my friendship with that person. And that's I mean, I maybe that's just me, but it just, it's like there's far too much that we gained from being accepting of one another than when we turn against one another.
I totally agree with that, Sherry. And for other people that just, are feeling so frustrated, especially with what's coming up, don't forget to keep calling your Congress people, your senators,
Yeah.
your representatives, and protesting. There's protests happening all over the country, and they're peaceful protests. And I think that those are the kind of things that will kind of help you feel better if you can be
And
involved in that kind of thing.
and unless you read, watch, listen to independent media, you wouldn't even know that there were protests going on unless it happened in your city and you saw it firsthand.
That's true.
Because legacy media is not showing it.
Right.
They're terrified to show it. I mean, you've got, what is it, Paramount that's now that owns CBS, that's getting ready to go into a structured settlement with Donald Trump, who sued them for I don't know how many freaking billions of dollars because he didn't like the way they edited their interview with Kamala Harris before the election.
That was just ridiculous.
And it's like, and the fact that the networks are giving into that, that's what makes me so mad.
Yes.
It's like, where is your backbone? Where are your balls? Because obviously you cut them off and given them over to him because you don't have them anymore.
Yeah,
You
they're
don't
in
seem to have the
Melania's
ability.
purse.
Yeah, they're in Melania's purse. You got that right. Or else they're in Barron's backsack. I don't know which one, but they ain't got them no more. So I don't know what the hell they think they're going to do. And it's hard to. We've got measles outbreaks happening in 3 states now. We just had our first child death in Texas from the measles because the parents were convinced that the vaccine was horrible. And this child is now dead. So basically, they killed their own kid out of ignorance because some other ignorant ass who gets put in a leadership position is running around telling people not to get vaccinated, although he's vaccinated and he made sure all of his kids and grandkids were vaccinated.
Of course he did.
And
yeah, of course he did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, that just.
Yeah, don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to what they say. Pay attention to what they do.
Or don't do.
Or don't do. Yeah, because their words do not match their actions.
And just about the time things get at the very worst, that's about the same time a pandemic breaks out. So hold on to your masks and get your vaccinations. And
Edward, yes, that is correct. She is his handler. I've been saying that for 15 years.
Yeah. And he has been a Russian asset since 1987.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is known by the name of Krasnov. So that's why he will never do anything that is going to annoy his boss, who just happens to be Putin, for entertainment purposes only. And yes, that's where he met Melania, was when he was
Thank
in
you, Jason.
1987.
That's very kind and generous of you. I appreciate that.
Yes, very much.
And
I do
but
want
yeah.
to mention one of the things that came across last night as I was getting ready to shut things down. My son sent me a link of yet another petition that Canadians have going around. The first one was to take away Elon Musk's Canadian citizenship.
I saw that.
Yes, that was fabulous. I couldn't sign it quick enough. The one last night was to never allow Donald Trump into Canada because he is a convicted felon. We have rules against that. Again, I could not sign that quick enough. If any other felon would be stopped at the border, then yeah, we don't need him up here. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, of course, we don't need him here either. We're just stuck with him right now.
Somebody just asked, okay, we know a lot of this. So when are him and Natasha and crew vacating the White House? This year sometime.
Yes.
We don't know exactly when, but obviously when he has been so close to Putin, he's proven that he's a traitor. He's proven that he has committed treason over and over again.
Yeah.
He is, mentally unfit. He's just unfit, period, for being a president. And I think, we're still waiting for the election interference results to come in and be more out there in the public. And I think we've been hearing it a lot more, especially on YouTube, all the things that are going on with looking into that. I think we are going to hear, I could be wrong on the timing. God knows I've been wrong before, but I think in March, we're going to hear more about this, what the election interference entailed, and maybe even how they're going to deal with it, because I'm really curious to see how that's going to happen. But yes, I am seeing that you'll see something in March that's going to head in that direction.
Did you hear Kamala Harris's speech that she did yesterday, day before yesterday? The NAACP, they had a special function going on, and they gave her an award, and she spoke. It wasn't real long, under 10 minutes, but it was very powerful, and it left me feeling like, okay, she's not been playing footsie with Dougie in the back room all this time. Yeah. She's been busy getting her act together and seeing what for. Yeah. It was an amazing, if anybody can, go look it up on YouTube. It's out there. You can watch it very easily. Just like Trump is now taking over the Kennedy Center that puts out the Kennedy Center honors. The first thing he did was he fired their gay pride orchestra.
Yeah, but he did. Although, what did I hear earlier today that there was at some event at the White House there, I think it was at the White House, there was a lot of government guests that were there, and the military choir was there. And when they came in, they positioned themselves in a circle around the room so that they were singing to the people that were inside the circle. And the song that they sang was from Les Mis. Yeah. And I think it was called, Can You Hear the People? something about can you hear the people? And the message of the song is, yeah, there's going to be an uprising. The people are, they're coming together. So that was, I thought, an extremely good response. How the music director was able to get that in there, I don't know, but what a fabulous response to the we're going to fire the gay choir.
Absolutely.
Here
I forgot.
singing a song of protest. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And it's we're going to see more and more and more of this as people are slowly, for those that were already kind of aware and awake of what was going on, but they didn't quite know what to do. So they kind of just hung back to see, well, what's going to happen next. And I think that a lot of people kept waiting for leadership in the Democratic Party to step up and do something. And when that didn't happen in a way that most people thought it was going to happen or thought how it should happen, that a lot of people started pulling back with like, okay, wait a minute. I don't want to be the only one standing out front.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be shooting their guns at me. And so, God forbid, I hope it doesn't come to that. But
yes,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I think that,
see
I was kind of irritated with the Democrats too. And then I kind of see what's going on. If they just hold back and let things happen as this natural progression of this weirdo and that calls himself president, he just keeps digging himself in deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm thinking that there's really not much they can do right this minute. They don't hold the Senate. They don't hold the House. So they're being, these idiot Republicans, they're supporting Trump 1,000%, and they're supporting this dictatorship. And this will change. But, and there is a vote coming up soon in a couple different states that
we have one coming up next weekend.
That will change whether they've got more Democrats in the House or in the Senate or somewhere. But it could make a difference. So that's coming up, and we're waiting to see how that works out. But in the long run, we really can't do too much. They're just letting himself dig himself in deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. He's just coming up with weirdo. They're calling Zelensky a dictator, and that Ukraine started the war. Oh my God! So
imagine after they were attacked and they fought back. The dirty bastards! How dare they?
And basically, that's about how their attitude on the other side of the aisle has been. And that's why I love what AOC did in that committee hearing today, where she flat put it out. Zelensky's not the dictator. He was president of the country that Russia attacked. Russia attacked them. Russia instigated the war. This was all Putin and Russia's doing. And then she said to whoever the committee chair was, I still have a minute left of my time, and I am more than willing to give it up to anyone else in this room who is willing to publicly state that Putin and Russia attacked Ukraine and they started the war. Not one Republican spoke. Not one.
Yep.
You could have heard a pin drop. And after a minute passed, and she waited for the minute was over, and she said, my point taken. And it's like, This morning, when I'm listening to my local news, for the weather and whatnot for the morning for our leave for the office, and one of our senators, Senator Cassidy, yes, he's a Republican, but he's getting strangely close to maybe becoming independent. He was the one that crossed the aisle to work with Biden and the Dems on the infrastructure bill and got billions of dollars brought here to our state to do much needed work that was sorely needed. Well, now he's a doctor. He's a regular MD before he went into politics. This morning I saw him on the local news and he was having a conniption fit over the fact that there's been one death already of a child with measles because the parents were convinced not to give him a vaccine. He was ripping them a new one on the local news at 6 a.m. And I was sitting here going, holy shit. It's like, wow, something really lit into him. I mean, and this is a fairly soft-spoken man. He doesn't do a lot of wild, crazy things, except he's willing to work with anybody who's willing to be fair about stuff. But to see that man at 6 a.m. ripping a new one to his fellow GOP congressmen and senators it made my day, is what it did.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I can go out and face the world today. He's the one that also in our state, it's been a state law forever, that if you worked in the private sector, you have your Social Security that you get when you retire. But if you also worked in the government sector, be it state or federal, you would get your federal, your retirement from them because you don't pay into Social Security. But you would lose your Social Security so that when you retired, you couldn't pull from both of your retirements. You could only pull from one. And he was one of the senators that got with several other senators and House members, both sides of the aisle, to try to get a law passed that broke that law, that said, no. When you retire, and you get the money you paid in. Doesn't matter what program it is, you paid into it. And I sent him a letter when I found out he was one of the main pushers of this bill. I sent him an email. And I said, Senator Cassidy, I said, I am not a Republican. I have never voted for you in the past. I normally will refuse to vote for any Republican for any reason. I said, but if you get this done, you've got my vote. And I heard back from him saying, I'm doing the best I can. And I said, okay. And when he got it passed and it became law in our state, I sent him another email and said, okay, you got my vote now. You followed through on your promise and you did what you said you were going to do. And then he started in with all the infrastructure stuff and everything else. So I'm like, yeah, you're fast on the road to becoming an independent, or God forgive us, he might even turn into a Democrat.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Wouldn't that be something?
And what you were saying early about, so everybody was kind of waiting for the Democrats to do something. And there's, I was one of those people too. Just wait, get in there, do something. And then there was a part of me that kind of, went a little on the dark side. And it was like, okay, if I was a Democrat, would I want to do anything right now? No, because this is that that little wheel that the gerbil goes on, right? The Republicans come in, they make a big old mess of everything. They add to the budget. They tank the economy so that the Democrats come in, save the day, put everything back, get things, so that they're going in the right direction. So that people say, oh, no, I don't like that. And they vote for a Republican. So, there comes a time when you have to say, okay, you know what? You done shite the bed. Maybe I'm not going to change it. Maybe I'm just going to let you wallow in it for a little while.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're not in a position yet to do anything about it maybe that's a way to get people to pay attention. A lot of people have been they become complacent, right? They're not taking responsibility for things that they should. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's okay. Someone is going to come save me. Well, you're a someone. Why don't you save yourself?
That's it. Exactly.
I totally agree, Marina. I totally agree. I did want to thank Rose Blue for the $5. And also she said
Oh, hey, Rose.
I know that Rose has been calling her representatives.
Yes.
But she said that she called the Republican representative's office and she says, "What in 2 buckets of hell did you do yesterday?" And that goes along with Musk asking all these people, name 5 things that you did last week. I love it that she did that.
I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
And that's what it's going to come down to, I think, is us literally hitting these congressmen in the face with this reality of, well, what are you doing about it?
Yeah.
You're going to stand up here in this town hall and pretend like you're all offended because XYZ happened. What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
Who have you spoken to?
Yeah.
What bills have you worked on to try to get this changed?
It's going to be really hard for them after they have said the things that they have said, done what they have done, remained silent when they should have spoken up. It's going to be harder and harder for them to walk it back. Oh, well, I didn't know. Oh, did I say that? Well, that's not what I meant. People aren't going to buy it. So there's a lot of people that are in Congress right now, including some Democrats, because let's face it.
Yeah.
Those that are self-serving, they don't belong exclusively to one party. But these people are going to find out the hard way what life is like on the street. And, you want to play stupid, you're going to get hit by that stupid 2x4 all the way down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're going to beat you to the wall.
Yes.
Continuously. And that's what we need to do. I mean, not to get physically violent, God knows, even though we want to, that's not the answer. But we have really, really, really got to be sure that we get our facts and we get them straight.
Yes.
And then we confront them with the honest truth. Well, the facts are this happened because you did this, because this was done, because this was decided. Now, what are you going to do to fix it?
Yeah.
I think in the coming weeks, especially in March and getting into April, but especially in March, you're going to see that in order to change everything, the military is going to have to come in and remove somebody from office. And, I think that is what's going to happen. But it doesn't happen instantly. It's got to do, you got to just take it one step at a time, even though Trump has taken things and just turned it into a mess, but I mean, he just keeps doing things so fast and so ridiculous. It's like you can't keep up, and he knows, and that you've already forgot what exactly was it that he did last week, but we just know that it was something bad.
What the hell did he do this morning is more like it. It's like, who can keep it's
So anyway, we just gotta hang in there and see. I do see better days coming, but I also see some pretty rough days coming up as well. And so it is going to take us a little bit of time. But in the end, see, the whole thing, the universe is working to help us to know that in the end, we can clear up this mess. No more of this stuff that stems from the Reagan era in the 70s, this Project 2025. We kind of got to just eliminate all that nonsense and get back on to reality of the way this country is supposed to be. So, it's going to be hard, but, and I've also said, when you start taking away all the things from the poor people, that the poor people don't have anything to lose in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are going to become unhinged, and crime is going to go up, and people are going to get, it's just going to be bad because they've taken the poor people and said no Medicaid, no food stamps, and then they're hitting on old people about their Social Security. I mean, all these things that start happening is going to create, it will be like a civil war if it's allowed to escalate to that point. If they really do take away Medicaid, that's really, really a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, I couldn't
It
believe they
is.
actually shot themselves in the foot with that move. I mean, it's like, yeah, y'all not really thinking this through, are you? I mean, talk
The
about
good news is that who are they going to be mad at? They're going to be mad at the people that are doing it to them. And they're going to be going to their representatives saying, hey, that's not what I voted for. You got to fix this. And that representative is going to, That's who they're going to go for. That's how they're going to be able to get rid of Trump, is his own people are going to turn against him.
Yes.
We have seen this happen in history over and over and over again. It is going to be his own people. So for us, yes, look ahead, be positive, know that, we might go through some shit.
and then some.
Yeah, but in the end, we are all, and it's not just the U.S. This is a worldwide problem.
Right.
Really, it is.
Yeah.
That is, we are going to be better equipped to recognize who those nasty players are, where they're located, because they will have self-identified themselves as being on that side. And then we can say, no, I don't think so. Not going to play that
just
game.
Remember, everybody in this chat, everybody that has common sense, we are going to get through this.
Yes.
And there's going to be some setbacks, but even the people that are having the setbacks, they're going to get through that. I'm just saying, if you take a segment of all the poor people in the country and say no more food, oh boy, you've just created a huge mess. Exactly. So anyway, the people are going to get through this, and we will be better for it in the end. But boy, it sure won't feel like it right at the time. It's gonna hurt a little bit.
I think the most important lesson that those of us normal everyday people need to embrace is we're all each other has. Check on your neighbors. That old couple that lives 3 houses down and you haven't seen them in a week. Somebody needs to go over there and go knock on the door. Are they okay? Have they been laid out on the floor because they fell and nobody showed up to help them? Have they eaten in the past week something other than cat food? Okay. People make faces and go, ew, but you're hungry? You eat just about any damn thing when you're hungry. Talk to anybody who's had to grow up without food. What about that young person down the street who has 2 little toddlers and she's on it by herself? Okay, maybe you could go down there and offer to babysit for an afternoon. Let her go get a haircut or go get a pedicure or go for a job interview, whatever the case may be, or cook them a meal and bring it down and say, hey, I had extra and I thought of you. I thought, maybe your kids might like some spaghetti with meatballs. What kid doesn't like spaghetti with meatballs, right? Yeah. It's the little things like this that's going to separate us from the really greedy ones that just don't give a crap about anybody but themselves. And it's going to become more and more prominent and more evident with every step we take. And as light workers, we've been put here. We've been called to be here at this time for this reason.
That's true.
I'm starting to believe that more and more and more strongly every single day. There was a reason why I came back at this time and lived the life I lived, because spirit is depending upon me and Marina and Cleo and whoever else is out there to be the one shining the light, saying, this is the way to go. You know, we're all in the dark. And that light may only show one footstep at a time, but at least you got it to take that next step.
Exactly.
And we got to do it for each other.
And Rose Blue just says, again, another donation. Thank you, Rose.
Oh, thank you, Rose.
She says, we're at the point now. Start demanding resignations. Absolutely. Get on the horn and start calling these places. And yes, demand the resignations. Even if it's not your rep, she says, just call all of them. Yeah. I wanted
damn straight.
I wanted to call and say, is somebody going to do an intervention on the president? There's something wrong with him. Help him. He needs help.
Yes.
So
and get that fool Eli away from him, because he's just making it worse.
Well, he's a drug addict. He's totally into the drugs and totally.
I don't mind it. Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what he's doing from 1 minute to the next. He's like that hyperactive Chihuahua, and I don't have anything against Chihuahuas, believe me, but it's that little hyperactive Chihuahua that just runs around and makes a whole lot of noise, and then stops and is shaking because, oh my God, what happened? What did I do? Right? Yeah. He is so high.
You did an excellent rendition of that, Marina.
You think I knew something about dogs?
I needed to see that so bad. I didn't know it.
Hey, you can book me for weddings and
I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's okay, Connie. You can watch the replay. We've been all over the map tonight. So
yes, absolutely.
That's what we do. All over the map.
All over the map. I'm telling you.
And I'm going to leave you guys with just one little thing, okay? I want you to pay attention and make sure that your kids know that some people have taken this, anyone can become president, just a little too far.
Yeah. Not everyone is really meant to be a president. So maybe check with those around you first before you go down that road.
Well, there's some people that have been president that even then they were not legitimate presidents. Yeah. And I think that will eventually come out as well. Going back to 2016. Know, he's been illegitimate all along. So,
yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about illegals? He's sitting in the White House.
Yes.
You know?
Or is he married? I don't know. Is she?
Yes. Is she Einstein visa? Are you kidding me? So,
yeah. When I heard her supposed best friend that she threw under the bus say Einstein, said she knows how to order in 5 different languages from a menu, and that's it. That's the extent of her knowledge of other languages.
No. And I've said this before when she mentions all the languages she speaks. And she speaks Serbian, she speaks Serbo-Croatian, she speaks this. Okay. To say that she speaks be best visa, exactly. Yeah. That she speaks Slovenian and she speaks Serbo-Croatian is like saying I speak Arizona and I speak Louisiana. Basically, because it's pretty much it's the same language. So don't count it as true and say, oh yeah, that. She speaks French. She walked into a French school and what did she say to the kids? Ça va? which is basically, you good? Ça va? Like, is that how you talk to little children? Yeah. Anyway,
Instead of going in and going, bonsoir.
yeah, bonsoir.
Or bonjour, you know, hello.
Yeah. Come
Um,
on, mes amis. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? No, ça va? It's like, anyway.
Okay, so we've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes.
yes, we have.
We probably solved a lot of problems in the world just in this hour.
Yeah.
But
Except for my drippy nose. Yep.
so it's coming to an end, but we will be on here again in 2 weeks, right?
In 2 weeks.
Yes,
Yep.
we will.
And
And in 2 weeks, I think we're going to be just a second on my channel.
Yay!
I think
You're
just
gonna
a
see
minute.
me.
Just a minute.
I actually don't even have March filled out yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, actually,
Somebody's been slacking at my house.
Yeah. I don't either. So yeah, go to our.
So the next one will be on the 13th, and I think
Yeah.
Marina's right. I think it's Marina's turn.
Okay.
And then back again on the 27th will be Cleo.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks after that will be me again. So
There you go. There you go.
We'll figure it out. Just watch for the community post on the post column.
Post. Yeah.
It doesn't say community tab anymore. It just says posts. So because that's where you post things. So
Yes.
okay. Sometimes YouTube gets a little too redundant.
Absolutely.
So, and thank you everybody for being here tonight, for all the wonderful input everybody has put in, and for playing nice and not being mean to each other. That's always important to me, because let the other side be the non-nice ones.
Yeah.
We're the nice people, you know.
Well, the Golden Girls, of course, were the nice
Of
people.
course, that's it, you know.
Thank
We
you.
are
Thank you for joining
the
us.
best. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you for all of your input and your laughs and your stories. And thank you, Marina. Thank you, Cleo. I always love it when we get together. This is a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely.
And we will see y'all soon. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. That's right. I'm getting my hair cut. Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, is doing a new show. I'll be there. Cleo, I think you're there in Colleen.
Well, I'm supposed to be. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, but yes, I was invited. I want to thank Mel for that, but I had other stuff come up way before.
This was very last minute. He got an idea, and Colleen and I just kind of ran with it with him one night. We sat on air. We sat behind the scenes and for like an hour and a half hashing out our thoughts on it. And so Mel decided to run it. I don't think it's going to be live, y'all. But I'm not 100% sure. I think it's going to be recorded for his members, and then after a day or two it'll go out to everybody, or it might be live for our memberships. I'm not sure.
Isn't it about like spirituality and psychic stuff?
Yeah, the show is basically, it's called The Other Side of the Coin, and it's for those of us who are in this world to talk about and explain what it's like to be psychic, what it's like to get downloads, what it's like to get hits, and other things as well. I don't know what all else he's gonna dive into, but I think that was the first conversation we were gonna have is, what is it like to be psychic? What does it mean when
that'll be a
we
cool.
go, oh, our light bulb went off, and people are like, what the hell are they talking about? Well, we can explain that.
So what time is that show coming on tomorrow?
Again, I don't know if it's going to be live or not.
Oh, that's right. Okay, they're going to record it, so we don't know when
But
the hell it's going to be on.
we're supposed to meet him at 6 p.m. Central, so that would be 4 p.m. your time.
All right.
And I don't know. I need to buzz Aiden because Aiden is in control of setting it all up. That's Mel's magic dust fairy. So who does all the work for Mel? And I need to get with Aiden and find out, okay, what are we doing and how are we doing it? And we lost Marina.
Wow.
And
We're all
I guess it's time to go.
Let's close this puppy down.
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. And
Bye-bye.
it's Mardi Gras weekend. Party. Tuesday's Mardi Gras. Bye.
Bye-bye.